So are you aware of this slush fund for the Navigators?
Well, I am, and it's interesting. You know, I think that's really the tip of the iceberg, this $54 million. And in fact, I believe that if states actually said that they would fund their own exchange or support their own exchange, there's a whole huge slush fund on top of this $54 million slush fund that is being utilized. For example, I heard in California, there's about $90 million being used in the slush fund that's going to unions and community groups, if you will. Of course, they're not associated with the Obama administration.
Right, of course. Wink, wink.
Yeah, of course, right. To enroll people, where these people then get a kickback for enrolling folks. And, you know, it's interesting, Doc, when you talk about these navigators, you know, there was an Obama official on Capitol Hill last week talking about these navigators. And not surprising to you or myself, but maybe even some people on the left or even middle of the road, some of these navigators, they can be navigators even if they have a criminal record, including a history of identity theft.
Wow, wow. So they're hiring people that could have criminal records. And the way I understand it, they're not even looking in some cases if they have a criminal record.
Correct. They're not even doing a background check. But they said, this official said, even though this person might have a criminal record, that does not disqualify them from becoming navigators. And, you know, here's the huge problem, Doc. And this is a point that we've made with Glenn Beck and with Andrew. You know, the problem is these navigators don't have any functional medical knowledge. And that's what's happening here. We have people, bureaucrats, that are directing people into a health care program that have no experience with health care.
Ah, come on, they're getting 30 hours of online training, you know.
Woo-hoo.
It's like a first aid course, right?
Well, it's interesting. When Obamacare was first passed, and I talked about these protocols that are going to be set up, I talked about the fact, why is medical school going to be 4 years? Why are residency programs going to be an additional 5 years? We could condense that if it's going to be cookbook medicine as Obama wants and as the Obama administration has put forward with Obamacare with their rationing boards and the enforcement boards. Medical school should be about 4 weeks and a residency should be another month on top of that.
Well, wait a minute, but isn't I mean, let's be honest here, and I'm not one given to conspiracies, but isn't part of this really about making more people vote for them? And I don't mean just in the handouts. As I've said at the top of the segment here, they're registering people to vote. In California, it's mandated that they ask people if they want to register to vote as part of this training.
There's many sides to what this is all about. But I believe, in a nutshell, healthcare reform that I've advocated for 25 years should be about creating more available, more affordable, more quality-oriented care. What Obamacare is about, it's not about more quality care. It's not about affordable care. It's not about more available care. It's about control. It's about taking control of how people live and eventually how people die.
Doctor, I have done extensive research over the years on the system in Britain, in Canada, and I challenge people to simply go online and look at newspapers in the UK and in Canada and just read through the newspapers. And almost daily there's a report about how their system is failing. One day it'll be about the lack of drugs, the lack of hospital space, how they're not giving people proper medicine. It all comes down to they can't afford it. So why do we believe we would be any different as we head in that direction?
Doc, I completely agree with you. When I finished my residency at the University of Michigan, I then completed a fellowship in Canada at the University of Western Ontario. And it became very clear to me very quickly that the heart, the soul, the core of the Canadian healthcare system is about the rationing and denying of care. It's the most unethical and inhumane means of cutting costs. And that is what's going to be implemented here in the United States. That's why I have been so against Obamacare since its inception, because half of it was hidden in the stimulus bill. That's where the big rationing boards and the enforcement boards were. The health care bill just reinforced that. The bottom line is, we're all denigrated to say, well, the reason why you're against Obamacare is because you're a racist. No, Doc, I'm a realist. And the reality of the situation is the heart, the soul, the core of Obamacare is about the most unethical and inhumane means of cutting health care costs, and that's the rationing and denying of care. And unfortunately, they're putting on the front line these navigators that have no functional medical knowledge that'll create a disaster from the get-go.